I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Yankton Board of City Commissioners. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have roll call, please.
Sarda. Here. Burdick.
Here.
Gross. Here. Johnson.
Here.
Mybom. Minor.
Here.
Mosier.
Here.
Mayor Hoffman.
Present.
City Manager Nelson.
Here.
City Attorney Denherder.
Here.
We have a quorum, so we'll continue with our business. Number 2 under routine business is the minutes of the regular meeting before you from July 24th.
I move
the
that.
minutes.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
It's been motion second to approve the minutes from July 24th. Any additions or corrections or discussion? Roll call, please.
You can do voice on this.
Okay, voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Number 3, the scheduled bills before you. What is your pleasure?
I move we pay the bills.
Second.
It's moved and seconded to pay our bills. Any discussion? Anybody from the audience? Roll call, please.
Mosier.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Burdick.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Mayor Hoffman.
Aye. Motion carried. Number 4 is the city manager report.
Yes,
Manager Nelson.
Honorable Mayor, members of the Commission, just 2 quick things to bring forward. One, I'd like to call everybody's attention to the sales tax numbers that Clean sent out earlier. For the month, first, second, and triple B, we are up 8.99%, which is great. That's where we want to be every month. But that brings our accumulated difference up for the year 1.9%. So I hope that this is a trend, although 1 month it's hard to say is a trend, but let's hope the summer keeps going in that direction. It looks like what we have is the first and second penny running really strong at 9.15%. So that's very good. And triple B was also good last month. They are still just 0.20%, but in the black now. So if you have any questions about that, but that's the direction we want to be headed, so that's very positive. Also wanted to remind you and the public that the Meridian District is looking at different ways to distinct itself physically from the rest of the community and to set itself off, I guess, from the rest of the community. One of the things that is being talked about is repainting the street poles and redoing the street signs. So we've done a pilot corner on 3rd and Douglas, and we'd ask people to take a look and see what they think, send their comments either to us at the city or to Molly Gray with the Meridian District, and let them know what you think about doing that throughout the district. So as people are walking down for Riverboat Days, we hope they comment as well. So I don't have anything further. Unless you have questions for me, I'll let you get on to your business.
Any questions for Manager Nelson? Okay. As always, we allow the public to be on the agenda that's not addressed tonight. Is anybody from the public who would like to appear on the agenda? Personal privilege we have birthday, Dave Mingo.
Yay.
Last thing we'll do is sing to you. That would be not uncool.
Well, I don't know. Mayor, I don't know. I think that
Okay.
if he's spending his evening at the commission meeting, I'd recommend to the commission that we sing.
Okay. You start.
Okay. Happy birthday.
How old are you?
I noticed this commissioners who had a good voice would push the mic. I don't think anybody pushed their mic when they sang. All right. Well, happy birthday. We have one item under the consent. Establish a public hearing for the sale of alcoholic beverages, the 28th for the public hearing.
I'll move the consent agenda.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Anybody from the public? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to old business on number 1, public hearing. This is the time and place for a public hearing or transfer of location. Memorandum 17-167 from the BFW.
I'll move the memorandum.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
So, Al, are they planning an event? Is that what they're doing here?
The first item on the consent item that you set the public meeting, or set the notice for the next meeting, that's a special event, and they're actually out on the front sidewalk and the street in front of their business down to Second Street. The second one, they're permanently asking for permission to license the side parking lot and their side sidewalk, not the front sidewalk, so.
Any other questions from the public, anyone? Roll call, please.
Sarda.
Aye.
Ferdig.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Mayor Hoffner.
Aye. Motion carried. Moving on to number 2, under old,
Excuse me, I believe we have my bomb online now, so.
okay.
My bomb? Commissioner Mybom? We'll move on.
Okay. Number 2, under old business, is this is the time and place for a public hearing for the sale of alcoholic beverages, memorandum 17-168, the request for a special retail from Checkers. What is your pleasure?
So moved.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Anybody from the public? Roll call, please.
Ferdig.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioner Mybom?
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Mayor Hoffner.
Aye. Motion carried. Number 3, under old business, this is the time and place for a public hearing for a transfer of ownership and location. Memorandum 17-169 from Shree to the Fox Stop.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Anybody from the public? Roll call, please.
Gross.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioner Mybom?
This went down.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Ferdig.
Aye.
Mayor Hoffner.
Aye. Motion carried. Moving on to new business. Number 1, West City Limits Road, memorandum 17-177.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Anybody from the public? Roll call, please.
Johnson.
Aye.
Mybom? Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Ferdig.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Mayor Hoffner.
Aye. Motion carried. Number 2 under new business, memorandum 17-170 regarding a land possible donation to National Park Service. I think we have some discussion here between, I think, Rick and Dot, I believe.
The National Park Service had entered a discussion with me on whether we would be interested in donating the land over on the Nebraska side, not all of the land, but part of the land, to the National Park Service. Internally, we discussed it as a staff. Didn't see any hesitations with it. Kyle Goodmanson just wanted to make sure in the agreement that if we needed a third well over there on the property, that we could get a third well on the property after it would be donated to the National Park Service. So part of that would be a part of the agreement. And then also, we did a land donation to the NFAA Foundation a couple years ago, and in that agreement, we do have verbiage that says if they would decide to no longer use the land, want to sell it, give it away, whatever the case may be, it does come back to us, so nobody else has access to it. So we'd still have the road that that the water department can drive down to the wells, and it would be the two wells and the road on the west side of them that we would keep. We would look at giving the rest of the land south of that road that enters down into those wells and all the way to the river to the National Park Service. My understanding, and Rick can speak a little bit more to it, but I think they have already started developing a trail to the west of the Discovery Bridge. And so with the use of the Meridian Bridge, they would like to see some improvements made in that property that we're discussing, and then that would help people get across that land to the trails that they've already developed. So if Rick wants to step up to the mic, he's more than welcome to, or if you
Rick,
have a
you wanna
specific
step up on
question,
this
I
side?
guess.
Rick, while you're stepping to the podium, I guess one question I would have is, does this allow you to do things that you wouldn't be able to do if we maintained ownership?
Yeah, that's the primary incentive. It gives us the wherewithal to tap into federal dollars by virtue of having ownership that otherwise is not possible. So we can apply for cyclic or repair rehab funds that would enable us to upgrade that trail system to NPS standards and to really integrate that whole system. As the Commission may be aware, the National Park Service acquired the Green Island area, including the mainland portion, back in 2014 as part of mitigation for the Discovery Bridge. So we'd really like to improve that area, and with the actual title and ownership, again, the real impetus is to tap into those federal dollars through our internal system. No guarantees, but by having it, it gives us wherewithal to apply for those funds that otherwise are not available.
I'm joking, but could you do that with the Meridian Bridge as well?
All bets off there.
Rick, do you see this as any programming or just a place to put trails? I mean, are you looking at doing or expanding any of your educational services?
Yeah, I mean, as you're all aware, having traveled the Missouri River Corridor, you've seen our wayside exhibits in different areas. I think there is that potential to improve that area as well. The real difficulty for us right now is that Green Island area is just spectacular. It's a neat backwater area, and I think a lot of people in the general vicinity are unaware of it just because the access is so difficult. So conceivably with this property, given the existing infrastructure over there, the parking lot, the trailhead, etc., for not a whole lot of investment, we could upgrade that to a pretty high standard than what otherwise exists right now. So tie it into the Meridian Bridge complex, the gateway to Yankton, I think you've got a potential that's win-win-win for really federal, state, local, and the greater Yankton community as a whole.
I think with the way we've seen the Meridian Bridge project develop in the last 5 or 6 years, the bridge itself and then the north entryway, I think this is a great opportunity to just build on that and make it even more of an attraction.
Absolutely. And, you know, if the Commission endorses and approves going in this direction, that would then give us the opportunity to coordinate further with our lands office in Omaha. Obviously, procedurally, there's some things that would have to be done. But we hesitated to do that before we had city endorsement to proceed, hence the overture to Todd and the city for that purpose.
And so as you go through this planning process, trying to attain funds, will there be opportunities for the public to have input?
Yeah, as is typical for any of our properties, we usually go through a public involvement period where we would do likely a management plan for the area. Some of you may be familiar with our having done that within the last year for our Mulberry, Bend, Bow Creek, and Green Island properties, where we identify what we think we would like to see and vet that with the public to see if they have any ideas, or basically verify that we're on the right track, and proceed with a roadmap, if you will, as far as how we envision those properties being improved. So we would take a similar approach with this property as well. Obviously that takes time. You know, it's not going to happen within a year, but within a relatively reasonable period, I hope we could do that, and at the same time, on a parallel track, apply for these funds.
Any more questions?
Yeah, question. Didn't we, at the time of the bridge, give some land to the Park Service already? There was seems to me there was a transfer of 5, 6, 7, 8 acres.
Dave Mingo is mouthing the words easement that we gave them, conservation
Oh,
easement.
Conservation, okay. And then how many acres do we have left? The map doesn't tell us. There were roughly a total of 40 acres over there to start with.
I think we've estimated at about 34 acres, that parcel.
Yeah, I was going to
The whole
say,
parcel.
Yeah.
so
Yes, sir.
about 6 acres left or so. It'd be the little triangle that would include the road down to the wells and heading to the south.
Right.
Is there none on the east side of the meridian?
No, we have very little on the east side of the meridian and the roadway leading in there. That's not ours.
Yeah,
There might be a little sliver, but it's
Cedar
basically at
County.
the bottom of the old ditch.
Yeah, Cedar County, Nebraska, so we understand, has a right-of-way or some ownership in there. So we would have to broach our intentions with them as well to make sure, again, that it's an integrated approach. Relatively minor corridor, but nevertheless, they would also be a player.
Yeah, as we looked, I believe when you're on the west side, it's city property all the way up to the old roadbed, about to, as you're heading south, to where the upper deck comes down onto the old roadbed. Once you get past that point, where the parking was put in, there's the monster blocks and the parking that was put in over there, then that little bit of ditch is, like he is saying, then you're dealing with Cedar County, Nebraska.
That's correct.
Any more questions? Thank you, Rick.
I move to approve the memorandum.
Second?
We
Probably,
don't have a memorandum, tonight's just discussion.
Just to,
So we'll have
Okay.
the agreement. This was just a time to see where you guys take your temperature, see where things were at, and get the public's input.
yeah, and you'll have a chance to look over the agreement unless there's some negatives against moving forward for the agreement, then we'll have a chance to vote on the agreement at a later date. All right, moving on to number 3 under new business for memorandum 17171. I think we'll hear a little bit from Adam, put him on the spot a little, talk about the YRT.
I'll move the memorandum.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Yes, this is the annual resolution of necessity that establishes the Yankton road tax. And historically, since 2004, the assessment rate's been set at 40 cents. And these funds are used for general street maintenance, chip sealing, crack filling, general street maintenance. And usually the amount is about 340,000 that is generated from that assessment. This year, we're looking to increase it 10 cents per foot to 50 cents per foot, and that would raise an additional 85,500 estimated. For the average lot owner, a 70-foot lot, it would increase $7 per year.
The money to be used for sidewalks.
This would allow for money to be used for sidewalks as stated in the active transportation plan that was adopted.
Technically, that the Yankton road tax needs to be used for road repair, but as we discussed in our budget session, we would budget that increased increment amount out of the second penny for some of the active transportation projects and sidewalk plans that we visited about.
Any more discussion? Anybody from the public? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Maibaum.
Aye.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Fertig.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Mayor Hoffner.
Aye. Motion carried. Moving on to number 4, under new business, the assessment project for 13th Street to 14th Street between Pearl and, for a public hearing, I would ask for a, we need a introduction here? No, this is a, we need a motion on this one, that's right, if you so choose. So, more like a consent. Okay.
I will second that.
Moved and seconded. Thank you. Any more discussion? Anybody from the public? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Number 5, Building, Plumbing, and Electrical Code Ordinance Agreement for a public hearing, memorandum 17-178. Just need a introduction, please, if you so choose.
I'll introduce.
Okay. Any questions on number 5? Number 6, a memorandum of understanding with the state of South Dakota, 17-174 of resolution 17-30.
I'll move the memorandum.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
So Amy, how does the police force anticipate this will be used?
My understanding is that in some cases, there is a need to search somebody who may be of the opposite sex, and we don't have somebody on staff that is able to do that. Or there might be a case where there is an individual who, just because of what's going on with them, is perhaps difficult to search. And so that's how that scanner will be utilized. We don't have one of those, and instead of purchasing that type of equipment, the trustee unit has that type of equipment, and it would allow us to partner with them. We have to have an agreement to do so, and they're amenable to that.
So this would be used on our prison population? Or jail population, I should say?
Not necessarily. This might be, anybody that needs to be in custody or held, or could be somebody that's going to be taken to the county or.
And I read in this, it says at the rate of 0, so it is truly, there's no cost to the city.
No, I mean, time of taking somebody up there, that type of thing, but no, financial cost.
Any more discussion? Anybody from the public? Roll call, please.
Minor.
Aye.
Moser.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Fertig.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioner Maibaum.
Aye.
Mayor Hoffner.
Aye. Motion carried. Number 7, memorandum 17-172 for the cemetery land use for the chamber. What is your?
So moved.
Second.
Been motion and second. Any discussion?
It says for a special event. What's a special event?
It's for the special event they're doing in the fall that the chamber has been promoting.
Any more questions? From the audience? Roll call, please.
Moser,
Abstain.
Sarda,
Aye.
Burdick,
Abstain.
Gross,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Mybom,
Aye.
Minor,
Aye.
Mayor Hoffner.
Aye. Motion carried. Number 8, Harvest Halloween Special Event Parking Requests. Memorandum 17-176 and Resolution 17-32. What is your pleasure?
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Anybody from the public? Roll call, please.
Sarda,
Aye.
Burdick.
Aye.
Gross,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Mybom,
Aye.
Minor,
Aye.
Moser,
Aye.
Mayor Hoffner.
Aye. Motion carried. Number 9, the final item under new business for Fire Code Ordinance Amendment for setting a public hearing. I would ask for an introduction.
Introduced.
Any questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn an executive session to discuss legal and personnel and contractual matters under South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. All in favor, say aye.